guys. Welcome back.
Welcome back to So True. I was going to say I'm Hannah. This is Claire, but I'm guessing everybody who's listening has been listening. So you know who we are. If you don't, go back to episode 1.
Just look at the description or the cover and you'll find out what my name is.
Just do a light Instagram stalk and you'll be great. What week is this? I'm so
I don't know.
I'm like actually so lost.
Okay, this is November 28th.
November 28th, the week after Thanksgiving. Sorry,
Yeah.
we're recording this a little bit early, and I just had the biggest like brain fart of my life where I was like, wait, where am I? Who am I?
We recorded 2 episodes yesterday, and now we're gonna record 2 episodes today. And like my brain's just like,
yeah, we are batch recording like it's nobody's business right now, but. That's what happens at the holidays. You got to batch record when you can and get everything lined out so you have episodes and can be consistent.
You got to stay on top of the game.
You got to stay on top of the game. Before we start, Claire has a story that she wants to tell me about her walk that she went on today. That she said, I'm going to save it for the podcast.
It's like not that crazy, but I was out walking and this really cute dog, I wish I knew what breed, this fluffy dog I see her running ahead of me. And I was like, oh, what? And I look around and I see that this guy is chasing her. And
oh no.
But I don't know if like before he could get her leash, she just like started running away. But I was like, well, he'll catch her eventually. But then she runs and she jumps on me. Like she like and I was like, oh ha ha ha, but like kept trying to keep walking. But then I think she kind of thought it was a game. Like the more I walked in front of her, it kind of seemed like maybe I was chasing her. And he was chasing her too. So maybe she thought like we were both chasing her.
She's like, this is so awesome.
Yeah, she's like, this is so fun. But like I had my music on and I was like, I don't know what to do. Eventually.
And also it can be kind of scary with like dogs you don't know because you never know like if dogs are aggressive towards like people they don't know. Like that's a little bit scary.
I mean, she wasn't a very big dog. She definitely seemed very playful, so I wasn't scared. But I was mostly just kind of like awkward. I didn't really want to interact with the owner. Yeah. But I eventually did stop because this kind of like went on for a while. Yeah. And so I was like, well, maybe if I just stop walking, she'll stop and then he'll be able to catch her. Yeah. And so I stopped. And he like ran to her, but then she ran ahead. No. So. Finally, I see him run back to his house and get her leash. And like she's still kind of doing her thing, but I've just stopped walking at this point. Yeah. And I see him walking back and I pull off my headphones and I'm like, I'm trying not to walk so she'll stop. And he was like, will you just like kind of go up to her and pet her and like try to grab her collar? And I was like, yeah, sure. And it worked.
What the heck?
I went up to her and I started petting her and then I grabbed her by the collar and then he was able to like get her. Cause like every time he kept coming after her, she would run. Yeah. And then I was like, here you go. And then he was like, oh, thank you. And I was like, what's her name? And he was like, her name's Valerie and she has a touch of autism. And I was like, oh my god, I was like, that's so funny.
Honestly, me too, Val.
And then I was like, well, I'm glad I could help. And he was like, yeah, having a good day. And I was like, yeah, you too. And I kept walking, but it was so funny.
That's so funny that she would like just take off when he came.
I know. Like, I felt bad. I was like, maybe I should try helping because he was like running after her. And I was just on my walk, like not knowing whether to interfere.
Is just like breaking a sprint.
I know. But it was like also kind of like Wattpad. I mean, I think this kid might have been a little bit younger than me, but I was like, this would be a great like
such a cute like meet cute.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Yeah. But it was really funny. I just think it was funny. I was like, yeah, she says a touch of autism.
Honestly, who doesn't?
Who doesn't?
It's a spectrum for a reason, you know?
Yeah, so that was kind of a funny thing. The dog was really cute. She was really she was this fluffy, like curly, dark dog. I don't know what she was, but she was so fluffy and cute.
I was literally telling Claire right before this, I was like, sometimes I just want a dog so bad.
I know.
Like, I just want a little furry companion.
Me too.
That just loves me unconditionally, because sometimes I be getting so sad.
I know.
You know?
But
I unfortunately live in a townhome with roommates, so that's not really in the cards for for your girl right now.
Our mom has never ever wanted to take care of a dog and like doesn't want one, but she's like started to become like open to the idea of getting one. And she even was like, I want a Rhodesian Ridgeback, because she had a friend visit who had a Rhodesian Ridgeback. And after that, I think she was like, I think I want one. She's like, we'll have to see maybe in the next year. And
we were literally so shook because like all growing up, we begged and begged and begged and begged for like to have like a family dog that like was an inside dog. And she was like, no, like I don't need another thing to take care of. They're messy, they're stinky, they'll chew on everything. And like she's right. Like and especially I think coming from a mom too, like I think a lot of moms feel this way. It's like, I don't want another thing to take care of, and it's gonna end up being me that takes care of it. So I totally get that. So we were so confused when she was like, I think I'm gonna get this dog like maybe in the new year.
Yeah, we're like, who are you?
What the heck? She goes, I just loved her dog so much. She was so sweet, and like they're the best dogs. And like I think Dean Koontz is the author. Maybe it's a different author. It's a male author, but I want to say it's Dean Koontz, but he has Rhodesian Ridgebacks and has like talked about how amazing like of dogs they are.
I think he also has I thought he had a golden retriever too. But
maybe he does. I might be thinking of a different person. I know it's a male author, but it might not be Dean Koontz. I think that might just be the person who came to mind. But one like a Dean pretty Koontz famous
is a big dog lover. Like he and his wife don't have any kids. I think they just have like dogs. So I was like, I love that. I want that life.
I had a professor in college and she was awesome, but she and her husband didn't have kids, but they had a Dalmatian. And she was so cute. She's so cute.
I love big dogs so much.
She was adorable. And I was like, you guys are just like living your best lives, honestly.
I either want a pitty or a German Shepherd. They've kind of grown on me. A golden retriever. I used to want a Great Dane, but now I'm thinking like they might just be way too big, even though I love them.
They are huge.
But and then I also really love the dogs that we have, which are
German Shorthairs.
I really
German
like
Shorthair Pointer.
Yeah.
I love them too. I love the idea of a golden retriever. Like I just love like the quintessential family dog.
Yeah.
But I saw a really cute little black French bulldog the other day, and I was like, I sent Paul and Claire a video. I was like, this is the cutest dog I've ever seen.
Cute.
He was so cute. I also love the idea of like a little basset hound. I love the droopy eyes and droopy ears.
I love the floppy ears.
They're so cute. So I am like, I don't know. We'll
There's
see
also like
someday.
A Saint Bernese, I want to say.
Oh, that's like a Bernese Mountain Dog.
Yeah, they're pretty cute too.
I saw a puppy that was a mix of a Bernese Mountain Dog and a golden retriever the other day. The cutest dog. So cute.
I
want one so bad, but it's just now is just not the time.
One day we will.
One day. Yeah. All right, guys, today we are reading craziest holiday get-togethers, like family get-togethers, and then some of the craziest and like worst gifts that people have gotten. I got all of mine from Reddit.
Me too.
Okay, perfect, because we ain't to the point where we have listeners.
I know. So. I was like, I feel a little embarrassed sometimes, but I'm like, what else am I supposed to do? I gotta get this content from somewhere.
It's true. Someday we will have the listener submissions, but until that day comes, Reddit is our best friend.
Yes.
Okay. You want me to start?
Sure.
Okay, perfect. This one is from user Fela Gund, and here we go. Christmas Eve, 1988. I'd come home from college for the week and was bored absolutely out of my mind. My family has a big dinner, the centerpiece of which is a big roasted fish. I just ate sides because I don't care for seafood. After dinner, they decided to watch A Christmas Story, which I'd seen with friends like 3 days before, so I was only half paying attention to the middle of the movie when I remembered that a friend had given me a little blotter square of LSD and it was in my wallet.
Oh no.
I excuse myself, go for a walk, drop the acid. The plan here is that by the time I get back and it's really hitting me, they'll all be in bed and I can play 1988 style computer games all night. I have a lovely walk as the full moon gradually starts to pulsate. But when I got back, it was like a slaughterhouse. Turns out the fish was bad and all 6 of my family members are puking / pooping their guts out, and there's only 2 toilets in the house. My dad is pooping in a bucket in the freezing garage. They're all like, oh gods, please help us. Faligund, and my mother's a nurse, so I know what to do, which is make a rehydration solution for everyone so they can drink it and then puke it up again. They're all suffering so badly that nobody notices the size of my pupils. I'm tripping balls, and the whole house reeks of poop and fish and vomit. And everyone's clinging to me because I'm the only person not actively dying. This goes on until like 4 a.m. as one by one they all finished purging and then passed out. And of course I can't sleep because I'm still tripping. And so I stay up until well into the morning cleaning up all the mess. Merry Christmas.
I'm like either this ruined your trip or the fact that you were tripping made this whole chaos better,
right?
Like, easier to manage.
Like maybe like you're kind of dissociated a little bit from it.
Right.
I think it might have made it better.
Yeah, like, I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
That was giving me flashbacks to this like one scene, The Perks of Being a Wallflower, where he takes LSD.
I was
he goes
the
outside
same thing.
and he's making a snowman.
He's making snow angels.
Oh yeah, snow angels, not snowman.
Yeah. So
kind of a vibe.
Funny. Yeah.
I've never been on drugs before, but like sometimes they just seem a little tempting.
No, it's like the worst. Okay, next. Go ahead.
This one is by Totes Ma Goats. Christmas morning around the tree with my family and my girlfriend at the time. We are all opening presents, and I open one from my girlfriend. I unwrap the box, and inside I find a flat-billed baseball hat. Strange. I neither wear hats nor give a shit about the team whose logo was plastered on the front, let alone the sport. So I pull it out and hold it up so everyone, but mainly my girlfriend, could see. All the adults give a quizzical look. Even my little sister makes a huh face. So I say something like, thanks, hun. Her face drains of color. She says, oops, that is for someone else. Must have brought it inside on accident. Then snatches it out of my hands. And then I hold out the card that was attached to the wrapping. Hey, baby, love you lots. Merry Christmas. And to clarify, yes, she was cheating.
No!
I guess there were tickets to some big upcoming game tucked inside the hat, too. Needless to say, it was effing embarrassing to have to essentially break up with your girlfriend in front of your family on Christmas morning.
That is awful.
That is terrible.
Also, like, chick, like, why wouldn't you just play along? Like, instead of snatching it out of his hand and be like, that's not for you, haha. It's like, like,
you're outing yourself at that point.
Yeah, like, you're just digging yourself a deeper hole. Like, I don't know. Maybe just don't cheat on someone.
Yeah,
it's like
why, I just will never understand people who cheat.
No,
I
just
really
be single. Like, people act
it.
like being single is the worst thing in the entire world.
I know.
And I'm like, no, if you just like want to like date around and date multiple people and like
be a bachelor or bachelorette.
Yeah, like do that.
Yeah.
Don't drag somebody else into it and give them like some relationship trauma and trust issues.
Especially on Christmas.
Like being single is not the end of the world. That's what pisses me off is people like, there's like, oh, there's nothing worse than being single. I'm like, no, being single is actually awesome. Like, hello, just be single. Ugh. So stupid. All right. My next one is from Witch Waffle 17.
I love that.
Awesome. My aunts got in a physical fight at Christmas dinner once because my grandma, their mother, was wearing a fat diamond ring they both wanted when she died. They each proclaimed this quite loudly at the dinner table in front of my still incredibly healthy grandma and the rest of the family. Next thing I know, the table upends and they are kicking, screaming, and clawing on the floor as everyone else kind of just stands there in shock. Grandpa just shook his head and had another drink of whatever the hell was in his glass. Like,
this
full-grown women.
This reminds me of that one time at Newport Beach, our aunts started wrestling on the floor.
Except it wasn't like malicious. They literally just were being weird, crazy, and funny, and crazy.
But they were wrestling. Like,
we were like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, yeah,
so funny.
No, but like this like made me laugh, but then I also was like, oh my gosh, like grown like adults act like this though.
I know.
Which is insane. You're like, you're fighting over a ring that is like not even up for grabs yet. Like the grandma is still there, still healthy, still alive, and you're gonna fight over it? Like what?
Yeah, like maybe fight after the fact.
Yeah, maybe fight when she dies about it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, so funny.
Okay. This one's by at 132 p.m. Okay. Don't know if this will be funny to anyone else, but I'm still laughing now remembering the mess of the first Christmas I can really remember. I loved reading from a very early age, and my family loved that and were happy to spread it around. So, Christmas when I'm 4 years old. I start opening my presents and I start finding books. I love it at first. I got books from my parents, my grandparents, my aunts and uncles. Everyone knew I loved books. The present opening continues and my cousins are getting toy after toy. I'm getting more books. I'm starting to get a little down about this point, and I learned later the family started getting worried and comparing notes and realizing that not a single person had got me a toy.
Oh.
Yeah, I loved books, but I was a 4-year-old. I liked to play too.
He's like, I want a truck. I want a G.I. Joe. Like, hello.
Eventually, my aunts and uncles start making my cousins give me some of their toys to play with and said Santa made a mistake, which just pissed off everyone around my age, and none of us believed it. So I went outside in the front yard to play and pout away from all the toys and books. After a little bit, the next door neighbor walks up saying Merry Christmas and has a bunch of presents for us kids. She hands me one, I tear it open, so excited to finally get a toy, and it's another book. My little brain broke about then, and I just remember sitting straight down in a puddle and crying.
Honestly, it's too much.
That is the last straw.
That is the last straw for a 4-year-old. It's like the cherry, like, on top, too, where you're like, I'm, like, ready for this Christmas, like, miracle. Like, yeah, she had brought me, like, this awesome toy. And it's like, no, another book, bitch.
You got your hopes up. Neighbor was distraught about what he'd done. Oh, what he'd done. It was a boy neighbor, sorry. Neighbor was distraught about what he'd done wrong, and my mom had to explain it to him. The last thing is the part that mostly cracks me and everyone else up. That poor neighbor didn't know he was my last hope for a toy of my own that day, and my little preschool misery ended up taking him out as well. We all have kind of a sick sense of humor. In the end, I learned early on that too much of a good thing is bad, and my family learned to compare notes a bit better on what they were getting each other for Christmas.
Oh, that's awesome. Especially, like, that little 4-year-old brain just can't, like, they can only take so much for so long.
Another book?
Like, they're like, I just, like, this is Christmas. Like, I want some toys. Like, I'm only 4.
I want a toy tractor.
Like, hello. He's like, you guys are just giving me so many assignments to do.
I can't read this many books.
It reminds me of, like, those videos on, like, TikTok and Instagram where it's like you see, like, the dog or cat, like, going crazy and, like, pawing at, like, the, like, pillow or something, and it's like, please stop ordering from our bakery biscuits.
Oh yeah,
he's been making biscuits all day. He hasn't seen his family in weeks. Like,
I've seen them.
That's, like, what it reminded me of. Like, please stop giving him books. Like, he has other things to do.
Oh my gosh, so funny.
Oh gosh. Okay, this next one is from Power Veg. Christmas dinner 2 years back. My brother had his girlfriend there for the first time. We were all still in the stage of getting to know her. She tells the story of how she beat a girl into a coma when she was 17 years old. My sisters both audibly gasped and made comments under their breath. It was fairly awkward for the rest of the meal.
Oh, gosh.
You're just casually sitting there, like, getting to know this new girl, and she's talking about how she, like, beat a girl into a coma.
Okay, you know what this reminds me of?
What?
I don't know. It might have been, like, I think it was just a family get-together, but my coworker was telling me one time that I'm just gonna say maybe it's a sister-in-law, I want to say, maybe.
Okay.
But this sister-in-law was, like, going off and being so disrespectful, like, at the dinner table, like, talking about, like, I guess maybe a mutual friend who died, like, just talking bad about someone.
Awkward, yeah.
And my coworker, she dives across the table and punches this bitch in the face. And this bitch is also, like, addicted to crack and stuff like that. And she was like, and she was telling us all at work, and she's like, you know what I did? I dove to her and punched that bitch in the face. And I was like, yeah! We were like, whoa!
That's the best.
And, like, because, like, earlier that day, she'd been holding her hand, and she's like, oh, my hand hurts. I was like, what'd you do? She's like, I punched a crack addict in the face. And I was like, that is amazing.
Honestly, iconic.
Like, and she's, like, such a small, little, tiny human being. So I just imagine her, like, this 40-year-old tiny thing, like, diving across the table and punching this, like,
there's nothing more satisfying than a well-deserved punch.
Well, and she said that she even warned her. She was like, I'm gonna warn you, if you don't stop this, if you don't shut up, you're gonna get decked.
Yeah.
And this girl kept going, and
this girl's, like, trying to call her bluff.
Yeah. And then my coworker punched her. As she should. Shut that bitch up.
Oh, I love that.
Sometimes violence is the answer, guys.
Violence is the answer sometimes, for sure. All right, your turn.
Oh, okay. This is by Real Pwali. PWAULLY on Reddit.
Okay, perfect.
A good memory from my childhood, I was probably in junior high, if not high school, was the year I decided to stay up all night. After our Christmas Eve festivities, when everyone else went to bed, I set up shop right by the tree, turned on the radio to all Christmas music channel, grabbed a big mug of cocoa with mini candy canes dropped in, and spent the night gazing at the tree, reading A Christmas Carol and A Child's Christmas in Wales, and eventually ended up lying under the tree, where I probably ended up dozing for a bit.
What a sleigh evening.
I know.
That sounds magical.
But I would wake up, see it was still dark, hear the music, and be so happy the night I could keep going like that. In the morning, I stoked the fire, grabbed more cocoa, and made our traditional morning Pillsbury orange rolls and waited for everyone else to get up. So much fun because it really stretched out my favorite part of Christmas and let me enjoy everything with no distractions. And that's it. I just wanted to include like a happy one because my next ones are unhinged.
That's so. I was like waiting for the like ball to drop.
I know.
I was like,
but yeah, like they just spent like the night.
That's
like,
so cute.
You know, listening to Christmas music, reading Christmas stories under the tree.
I love that.
I know.
I remember as a little kid crawling underneath the Christmas tree and then just like looking up through the lights and like that. What? I'm gonna cry. That's like the best feeling in the entire world. I'm gonna do that this year.
You know, kind of the sort of like translucent, like green and gold, like orb ornaments, and you would like look into them and like see your face, and it would be like all wonky. Yeah, or, like I don't know. I remember doing that a lot. Too.
Magic, straight magic.
I also remember putting like my Barbies on the leaves of the Christmas tree and like pretending that they were like I don't know,
just magic. Christmas fairies.
Yeah, magic Christmas fairies.
I saw a TikTok video the other day, and it was just like all pictures, and it was like the last days of school before Christmas in the 2000s.
I almost can't watch those because they're like so nostalgic.
It hurts my freaking heart. Like
the Christmas parties.
The Christmas parties, like the polar, like the aesthetic of it. It's like there's nothing better.
I remember like we'd have like the best Christmas cookies. We were watching like Rudolph the Reindeer, the little like
the claymation.
Yeah, the claymation one. We were making bracelets.
Yeah,
and you knew that you'd have 2 weeks off from school, and
it was like the most fun days of school. You were like in your PJs. Yeah, that's like when I miss teaching. Those are the things I miss. Is like the holidays and like Christmas time. Like I loved doing that with my kids. Making snowflake
crafts out of paper.
Yeah, like the last day of school before Christmas break, or like even that last week of school before Christmas break. So fun. Like the kids are so stoked. You're just like having a ball. You know, you're creating like core memories too for them. So that's when I miss teaching, that's what I miss is like those things.
Yeah.
All right. My next one is by Virgo Sun 115. When I was like 8, my cousin told the entire table that she caught me watching lesbian porn. I cried into my mashed potatoes. No one said anything.
No.
That's it.
Lesbian porn.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
That's so awkward.
That's so bad. You're like, and as a kid, like, and I read some more of the comments, like, on this thread, and, like, she was like, it was at the time where, like, porn was more like on TV, like and so she like kind of stumbled upon it and just like was watching.
Well, and you're just curious
as a kid.
Like you're just like, what is this? Like it's forbidden fruit, you know?
Like, your cousin like tells on you. You're like so embarrassed. You think
cousin.
You're in such trouble too.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. I died laughing at that one. I was like, that is terrible. You poor thing. Oh my gosh.
This one is by Approving Canadian, and this is also a bad Christmas present they got. Okay. When I was 8, I got a lighter from my grandmother. I am not done yet. On the lighter was a marijuana leaf, and it said nature's way of staying high. My grandmother had thought it was a cartoon of a plant giving a high five, and I thought it said nature's way of saying hi, with hi as in H-I with a plant hand. Grandma's thinking that it's like, oh, it's a cute little cartoon. It's waving hi, it's saying hello, but really it's just like...
That's like that really is the most like grandma thing to do is like being like thinking like kind of the best of something where they're like, oh my gosh, like so cute.
So precious, so adorable.
That's amazing. They made the leaf high five. Like it's too good. It really is too good. It reminds me of the time our grandparents went to, I don't know if you guys remember the movie The Visit. It was like a horror movie. Basically, the premise of the show is like these kids who are like estranged from their grandparents. They kind of reconnect with their grandparents, and like their grandparents invite them to come stay at their house. So they go and stay at this house, but then like by the end, like they realize it's like not actually their grandparents, and it's like, anyway, they like the grandparents try to end up like killing them, and like anyway, our grandparents went to go see this movie because they thought it was like a wholesome film about like these kids like reconnecting with their grandparents. Please. And like they stayed for like the entire thing. Like,
it's so funny.
And they're like, well, it just started getting weird at the end. Like it just like
and they're like the most Mormon like
just like
grandparents,
Christian folk. Like it's just so funny.
And just imagining them like staying there and not even leaving after it started to get weird is hilarious.
And I just know our grandpa, who like doesn't say more than like a couple words at a time, was just like, that was weird. And like gets up and leaves, like doesn't bat an eye the entire time, but as soon as the credit rolls, he's like, well, that was a little weird, and then gets up and like goes home. Like it's just hilarious.
I love it. I love it when grandparents are oblivious.
Grandparents are the best. All right, this next one I have is from a deleted user, and it says, my most awkward moment was probably the Christmas lunch where my brother, who my sister and I didn't know was going to be there until the day before, showed up. So sister and sister are like having this Christmas lunch. They didn't know their brother was coming, and then he just decides he's going to show up. So they say, we didn't have time to get him a gift since we both didn't find out until Christmas Eve night. He showed up an hour late for lunch. When he came in, he walked right by his son, who he hadn't seen in close to 10 years, to get a beer. He also showed up with this very old guy who looked like he was strung out. Oh, apparently, they were also dating. Oh. He then got upset that we didn't wait for him before we ate. Keep in mind, he was an hour late. He got mad that we didn't get him any gifts, but we didn't think he was going to be there that year.
No, that is the audacity of someone showing up expecting to be served or you know.
Like you show up an hour late to a lunch that you just RSVP'd to the night before.
With a stranger who's strung out.
Yeah, you don't even like bother to say hi to your own kid. You go straight for the alcohol. Like,
what a lousy ass human thing to do.
Yeah, seriously, what a lousy human. And then to be like so upset that like people didn't cater to you when you like didn't do anything to be like considerate of them.
Yeah.
Oh, that level of like entitlement is just
the audacity.
I literally can't handle people like that.
Me neither.
Literally nothing like sets me on edge more.
I can't.
Yeah.
Ugh. All right. This one is by a deleted user. Christmas Eve 2006, my widowed great-grandmother had a breakdown. Her husband passed 7 years before, and they were just madly in love for the long time they were married.
No.
Even after he died, we continued the tradition of going to my great-grandma's house for Xmas Eve. While most of the family still had fun and merry moments, my widowed great-grandma just wasn't enjoying Christmases like she used to. That's really sad. Anyway, cut to 2006, and great-grandma was giving a speech and prayer before Xmas dinner. She started off the way anyone would. I'm grateful for the loving family I have every day, and let's not forget the true meaning of Christmas, to celebrate the nativity of Jesus. Eventually she says, let's not forget to show love for family this Christmas, and let's not forget Granddad. She stood there for a moment, silently collecting her thoughts before the poor woman just starts sobbing. She excused herself from the dinner table while my grandmother and aunt tried to comfort her. The remaining family sat there and wondered what to do, but we ultimately talked about Granddad and the memories we had with him. Great-grandma returned eventually and joined in the remembrance of him. Great-grandma only lived to celebrate 3 other Christmases after that incident. Here's to hoping she's up in heaven celebrating Christmas forever with Granddad.
Oh,
that's really sad.
That like breaks my heart. Like, I truly can't like imagine spending your entire life with somebody and being like the best of friends, going through the highest of highs, lowest of lows, like truly doing everything together, being so deeply in love, and then losing them. Like, that is just like, ugh. And like, I think too, I've talked about this with one of my clients who recently lost her dad, that like you think like grown-ups are more prepared to like lose like people. Like because you're like, well, you're a grown up, like you're just more equipped to it. And even if like you're old, like I think we think like old people are just more equipped to lose people because they're old and they know it was coming. And it's like, I don't think, no, like it never is.
Yeah, nothing can prepare you for it until it's actually happened.
Yeah, and it's always gonna hurt. It's like that's always gonna be sad, no matter how old you are.
It's sad for the family too, who was just watching her like get choked up because they're like, what do we do? Like this is like,
nobody can fix it.
Everyone just sits there like, oh.
Yeah, that's so sad. Oh, I hope she is too. I hope she's in heaven, just like living it up with her boo thing and just having the best time. Yeah. Okay, my next one is by Melvin 8. And it reads, I had been friends with this guy for 9 years. We were both sophomores in college, and he was home for Christmas break, staying with his parents. We discovered that we had feelings for each other, but decided we didn't want to date long distance. But while he was home, we wanted to spend time together. Honestly, I understand not wanting to date long distance, but like do it for the plot, you know? Like just do it. Just send it.
Just do it if you both like each other.
Yeah, come on. We were with a group of friends, but decided to go back to his house, just the two of us. He had asked his parents earlier in the day if he could have friends over. Well, his parents already disliked me. My brother had dated his sister and broke her heart. Whoops. Honestly, not your fault. Like, I hate when people blame other people for the actions of, like, another person. It's like, why his parents disliking you is so, like, immature of them just because, like, oh, well, your brother did this. And it's like, okay, I didn't do that. I'm not my brother.
Yeah.
Like, so I show up at their house with them expecting a group of people, and it's already awkward. So like she shows up and his parents are expecting a group of people, but it's just like him or her and
the guy she's
dating. Then my friend and I spent a couple of hours in his basement making out. By this time, it was pretty late, around 1:30 a.m. He went upstairs to get his keys to drive me home, and when he came back downstairs, his eyes were really wide, and he said, I'm so sorry. Apparently, his mother was still awake and refused to let him drive me home that late. So she decides it would be better if she drove me home. It was a 20-minute drive, and the car was completely silent. Number one, if you're a sophomore in college, you are like 20 years old. So why is his mommy telling him who he can and cannot drive home?
Right. And especially because, like, I'm sure this girl's already feeling embarrassed about, like, the mom probably knowing that you guys were kissing.
Yeah, like, what?
And now she has to drive home with this woman she doesn't know very well.
Also, why does the woman want to do that? You'd think if she disliked her so much that she would just, like, stay away and just be like, yeah, as soon as she can get out, like, get out. I don't want to be in, like, the room with her. Like, she's insisting that she drive her home. Why? So that this girl can feel, like, weird? Like, you're just making this a completely awkward situation for literally everyone.
No, for real.
Ew. It's giving the mother-in-laws who, like, can't let go of, like, their little boys when they get married. Like, that's the type of mom
I hate that woman was. Icky behavior.
It's icky behavior for sure.
Yeah. Okay. This one is another horrible or embarrassing Christmas gift. And this one is by... I'm just going to say the letters because I'm not sure how you'd pronounce this. It's 3 N's and then Kingston.
Okay.
Not me, but about my brother. In high school, he was caught sleeping over at a girl's house and didn't grab all of his clothes before he left. My parents were really upset with him for this. They contacted the girl's family, wrapped them up in a huge box, and gave it to him. The look on his face was a painful mix of shame, anger, and sadness.
Oh.
That's kind of evil.
That's savage.
Here are your clothes that you left at my daughter's house.
No. That is savage.
Wow.
Also, I'm like, dude, like, kids, like, teenagers are gonna do that. Like,
they really are.
Like, calm down. Like, it could be so much worse. Like,
really are we still in, like, the 1950s? Gosh.
And I get not wanting, like, you're again, I get, like, as a parent being like, I don't want you to have, like, sleepovers with, like, your boyfriend or your girlfriend. Like, I get that. But, like, to be, like, so harsh, you're like...
That you give it to him for Christmas.
Like, it's kind of hilarious, but also at the same time, I'm like, okay. Gosh, yeah. Like, teenagers are going to do that. Like, if teenagers want to, like, have sex or they want to, like, sleep together, even if it's not having... Like, they're going to find a way. So, like... I don't know. It's just, like, funny. I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys, like, calm down. Like, it's just kids being kids.
Right.
Like, anyway, that's funny, though. Okay, next is my story is from Squat Chick 315. And the worst gift she got was expired chocolate on Christmas from an aunt who was a chronic regifter, yet always expected expensive, top-notch gifts from her children on Christmas and her birthday. Perfect. Not only was the chocolate expired, but it was also evident that it had melted completely and re-solidified.
Ew.
Which, like, it never tastes good if it melts and, like, No, like, it never.
Yeah.
When I noticed, I went up to her with, OMG, this chocolate is so good. You have to try it, in front of the whole family. I watched her unwrap a piece of chocolate, and when she noticed how it looked, she was hesitant to eat it. When she looked at me, I just had a smile on my face and said, it's the best chocolate ever. And then I watched her slowly bring it to her mouth and try to eat it. She quickly walked to the kitchen immediately afterwards. I think I've only seen her once since that moment, almost 9 years ago.
Honestly, I'm like, well deserved. I'm like, you killed it with that response. Yes. Like, that's exactly how you should have responded. Again, the audacity with people expecting things that they don't give out.
You have to go above and beyond for me, but I'm not going to put any effort towards you. Like,
there's a thing called reciprocation.
Yeah, exactly.
Equality.
Karma. Fairness. Also.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I love that. That was the best response ever, like, of all time.
And I know it's like, oh, respect your elders, but sometimes when like grandkids show up, they're disrespectful grandparents. That is the best. That's the best.
I believe, yes, respect your elders, but if your elders are not respecting you, then no, that rule goes out the window.
Exactly.
It goes out the window. So yeah, no chance. All right.
Okay. This one is by wheelchair_boxing. This is another gift one. It was a shirt that had, I'm not a gynecologist, but I'll take a look anyway. It was from my stepdad's mom. She knows I want to be a doctor and her English is no bueno.
Oh, no.
I found it hilarious. Once we translated it to her, she almost cried from embarrassment. I proudly wore it for the rest of the day.
Oh, that's cute. That's really nice. Funny. Poor thing. She like thought like, oh, this is a great gift.
She wants to be a doctor.
But like also it did end up being a great gift because it's hilarious.
And it's like, you're going to tell that story for the rest of your life.
Like, poor thing. I'm so glad that you like wore it to like make her feel better and be like, no, this is awesome.
This is hilarious.
Like, this is hilarious. That's so cute. Okay, this one's super, super short, but it's hilarious. All right, this one is from The Wrong Baked Potato. Oh. And all it says is a Ziploc bag filled with cotton balls with the words ghost poos written on the bag in Sharpie. That was the gift. Ghost poos. Yeah. The cotton balls are ghost poop.
That's funny.
Honestly, like, I was just like,
it's creative, I guess.
Like,
but wouldn't it make more sense to be like snowman poops, because ghost is more on theme for Halloween?
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
So
maybe you should reply to this subreddit.
Actually. Deducting points from that because you said ghost.
You said ghost. That's Halloween. We do not give presents for Halloween.
I mean, actually, backpedaling. I guess there are ghosts. Ghost of Christmas Past.
That's true. But I think you're right. Snowman's more on theme.
Yeah. So try again.
Anyway, yeah, that was literally the whole thing. I just thought that was hilarious. But I'm a child, and poop humor gets me every time. So
same though. Okay, this is a funny Christmas story, and it is by the user Cup Be Empty. I don't know why that
be empty.
My cup be empty.
My cup be empty.
My eggnog be empty.
There's nothing worse when your cup be empty.
I know, right?
Please.
Okay. My sister and I stayed up really late Christmas Eve. We removed all of our youngest brother's presents from under the tree. We emptied his stocking. We stowed all the presents behind the couch. We put all of his stocking stuffers in a bag.
That's so mean.
He was like 8 years old. We meticulously wrapped and put bows on boxes to him. We filled them with charcoal briquettes and Q-tips. I can't remember why we chose Q-tips. On Christmas morning, he got to go first because he was the youngest. He tore into his first box and then his face just dropped. He went out of turn and ripped open present number 2. Also Q-tips.
No.
He ran into the other room where the stockings were and dumped his out. It was a plastic bag filled with charcoal and Q-tips. He lost it. My parents had no idea what we'd done. I think my dad was ready to just beat us for ruining Christmas.
Please.
So my brother finally got it together and we showed him where we stashed all his toys and where we put his stocking contents. He was happy as hell after that. To this day, probably 25 years later, I still get called the Christmas Grinch by my whole family. Everyone conveniently forgets how complicit my sister was in this. Those presents didn't wrap themselves, and I suck at wrapping.
Please.
I love it. You're like, my sister did
I'm
it
sure
too.
she's like the older one too, so she got the blame. So it's like, oh, she didn't. Yeah, my little sister's like, I didn't do anything. Oh my gosh, that's evil. It's evil, but so also funny. Hilarious. It's so good. It's like
being a troll on Christmas,
and it's like the perfect sibling troll. Like, siblings,
it's like, we didn't damage your presents, you still got them.
You still got them, and he was like elated afterwards, and like you can laugh about it, but it's just like, it is such a sibling thing to do. We're gonna mess with you a little bit. Yeah, it is such a sibling like hazing moment.
Yes.
Oh, it's so good. Okay, this next one is from Ms. Sanguine, and it says, my brother got a pocket knife in a small cylinder package, old toilet paper roll wrapped like candy. Excited, I started unwrapping mine that looked similar. Underwear. All of it, underwear.
Oh my gosh.
And once, a bathroom faucet. This is when I knew childhood was over.
No.
That's so mean.
That is so mean.
Why, if he got a cool pocket knife, why wouldn't you get like, I guess if maybe it was a boy and a girl, I'm not thinking. It probably was like her brother and then she was a girl. So I'm like, why wouldn't you just get two brothers, get them each a pocket knife? But I guess like, in like some people's thinking, they're like, oh, the little girl wouldn't want a pocket knife.
Yeah, but she'd rather have underwear.
But like she'd rather have I'm like, get her something that's equivalent as a pocket knife.
Yeah, do you guys not know what little girls like?
Like, I don't know what you would get her instead, but like something that's cool.
I don't know.
Or like stickers. Or get her a pink pocket knife.
Yeah.
I thought that shit was awesome.
Or a little purse. Like, I don't know.
Something.
But underwear and a bathroom faucet. Yes, that's exactly what she'll want.
Our mom has a story about getting underwear once for Christmas. Like, at
yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
Was it a white elephant gift?
I think it was like... Yeah, I think it was like white elephant, or like it was, they like got together with like neighbors that they were close to, and like the neighbors got her. I think you're right. It might have been like white elephant. She opened underwear and she was so embarrassed. Again, why is getting underwear so embarrassing as a kid?
Because when you're a little kid, it's
Also, the bathroom faucet, like,
what?
Your parents really just taking the opportunity to like
buy themselves
renovate the house. They're like, but it's for your bathroom,
or buy themselves something that they need.
Right, exactly. They're like, we're gonna use the Christmas budget to upgrade the house.
Yeah, I saw a comment that said like someone had gifted them like a printer, and they're like, this is what my parents needed.
Please, that's hilarious. Oh my gosh.
This one is by Exciting Bike. No, Existing Bike.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I kicked my toe on my nephew's tricycle under the tree on Christmas Eve one year, and by Xmas Day, I was in excruciating pain so much I went to the hospital and turned out I had cellulitis, in parentheses. My toe split, I kicked it so hard. So I had to be admitted on Xmas Day and was in there till after New Year's. It was the year all our awful relatives were visiting, so no great loss. That is so...
That's toe awful. Split?
I guess so. They just kicked it so hard they
like the bone split. Is that what that means?
It just said my toe split, and that they had, I don't know what cellulitis.
I mean, it would have to be the bone, because like if the actual like skin split, he would have gotten. But like
that's true.
That's crazy.
That's insane. They broke their toe.
I've never heard of that before.
Did you know that like one of the Lord of the Rings cast members broke their toe when they kicked something?
Really?
It might have been the actor who played Aragorn. He kicked something and he broke his toe.
I think like the same thing happened to Liam Hemsworth on set of Hunger Games. I think we talked about that. Like he broke his foot or something. Anyway, that's crazy. Okay, my next one is by Tarsala 3791, and they got a taxidermied deer hoof with a candle holder stuck in where the ankle would be. Only it was really bad taxidermy, so it was constantly shedding a fine white powder on the table.
No,
that's disgusting. Number one,
that's not the most redneck Christmas present I can think of.
Like, just imagine this deer hoof, but then it's like a candle.
Sick.
Kind of the best thing ever. Yeah, so random. What the heck?
So funny.
I want to know what the white powder was though. Like that's disgusting.
Cocaine.
Is it coke? Was it like bone dust? Like
probably bone dust. That makes sense to me.
Ew. Did they remove the bones though when they like taxidermy?
Oh. Well, how would they keep the structure?
Like they stuff it.
Oh.
So I think they remove the bones.
Maybe it was like fur shedding.
Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's disgusting. I'd have to look that up.
This one's by Permanent Moccasins. I didn't see my grandma that often as a kid. So whenever he bought presents, my grandpa, sorry. I didn't see my grandpa that often as a kid. So whenever he bought presents for me and my brothers, they were always the cliche terrible grandparents gifts. One year, I remember he got me this incredibly freaky porcelain jester baby sitting cross-legged on a pillow. When you wound up the key on the back, it would slowly start spinning at the hips while playing a song from a tiny internal music box. It made the best torment fuel against my brothers for a long time, though, so that was good.
I'm like, even if you're what's the baby doing, David? Even if like you're a terrible gift giver, I'm like, there are some things that like you should just know that that's not a good gift.
How out of touch
like,
are you?
You see that and you're like, that's a perfect gift for my like grandchild.
A creepy jester that like starts spinning.
Like you would think it'd be like more like if you're a terrible gift giver, you get like a 15-year-old girl, like you'd get her like a baby doll, and she's like, I don't want it. Like I'm 15. Like that's like a terrible gift giver to me. Yeah, that is like a whole other level of out of touch. Where you're like, what was going on in your mind that you saw that and thought that would make an awesome gift?
Right. Like okay.
What? Hello. All right. This one is from Wiener World.
Ooh.
My type of person.
My type of place.
Is that where the Wicked Wiener came from?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, so it says, for my husband's 50th birthday, his parents gifted him the deed to his own cemetery plot. One for me, too. Oh. An expensive but poorly timed gift.
Gosh.
They're like, well, you're almost there.
Damn.
I mean, like, great that you don't have to pay for that, but also it's like
why are we tempting fate? It's like,
yeah,
you want
kind of morbid. Like he's like, I'm only 50. Like I'm not like old.
Yeah, that's not like someone who's in their 80s.
No, our mom is 49 and our dad is 54.
Oh,
like
gosh.
It's not like 50 is not old because our parents are not old in their 50s, like, or almost in their 50s. But
what the heck?
Yeah, that's wild.
This one is by Diamond.
Oh no.
This is an inappropriate username.
Oh no.
Okay. Diamond_tipped_penis.
Ew. Okay. Continue.
Yo, pee-pee got that bling.
Like weird flex, but okay. Yeah.
All right.
Oh okay. No.
Okay. When I was 12, my great aunt randomly visited one Christmas. She has brain damage. When she was a baby, she apparently asphyxiated on a string of popcorn one Christmas.
Whoa.
So she was known for giving really odd gifts and sending weird notes in the mail. She is a sweetheart, though, and was always nice to me.
I, love her, though, so much.
Anyways, when we were opening presents, her gift to me was oddly shaped. I opened it, and it was an old Blockbuster stolen VHS copy of Weekend at Bernie's, wrapped in a pair of giant, obviously Value Village blue jeans. My grandma gave me a face that basically said, don't laugh, just say thank you. So I held my laughter and said thank you. Funny memory.
That's actually awesome.
Wrapped in like giant blue jeans.
It's like, this is great.
This is cool.
This is super sick.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious, actually. I love that. All right, this one is by Everyone. One hates me. So it has the word everyone and then the number one hates me. So a little redundant, but yeah. My mother-in-law gave my 1-year-old daughter her dead dog's bed as a Christmas present.
No.
She said it was for my daughter's naps.
No.
He's like, she can take her naps.
It's like, oh my gosh, what a great regifting idea.
Sounds like some of the dead
DIY.
dog fur.
Ew.
That's so bad.
That was
really bad.
That's so out of pocket.
Does your mother-in-law hate you? But like, it's for the 1-year-old, so it's like not even like a terrible gift to you. I'm like, your mother-in-law must just be like so out of touch. Like,
yeah, that's again just another really out of touch thing.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I love it.
All right. This one is by Sephi. CEPHE.
Okay.
My parents are separated, and when I was younger, I had really wanted an N64. Both my mom and my dad asked what I wanted, and I told them, along with my grandparents. Come Christmas morning, I was delighted to find an N64 beneath the tree. Lo and behold, I go to my grandparents' house later that day to open one last present under the tree. An N64 Atomic Purple controller, too. My mom hadn't been talking a lot with my grandparents at the time, and the miscommunication about who was getting what was pretty obvious based on the look people were giving each other. Next day, my mom drops me off at my dad's. They didn't get along at the time, and jokingly says, I don't suppose you got him an N64 too? And my dad's eyebrows shot up in about a foot. Donkey Kong edition. To this day, I still have all three.
Hey, that rocks.
Kind of slay. I mean, you got different colors. And like,
I was going to say while you're doing that, like, the N64 was so fun.
I never played it.
We played it at, I played it with our cousins, like Sophie and Isaac, when we were kids. They had an N64, and it was so fun.
See, it's so sad. I was never,
you would plug in, like, you had, like, the games, and they were just, like, little squares, and it kind of was like how a USB is, like, on the bottom of it, and you would just, like stick it into Nintendo? The top. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Nintendo 64.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, duh.
Yeah, so that's what it is.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking of like a game system or...
Yeah, no, the Nintendo 64 was like the game system, and you had like little games and you plug it into like the top.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the Nintendo ones that like you would switch. No, it's called that's a DS.
Yeah, it's not the DS. It's like the, like, and you had like the controllers.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking of then.
Those were so fun.
I remember I wanted a DS so bad when I was a little kid. Dude. I wanted a pink one or a blue one.
They were so cool.
I never got one though. I wasn't really like into those classic like game systems.
Well, and like as a kid, like when we were like little too, like our parents didn't really have a lot of money, and they weren't really like video game. They didn't really like want us to play video games as much, so we really didn't have like video game systems.
Instead, I played like computer games. Like I would go on girlsgo.com, play Sarah's cooking class.
Slay. Barbie.com, Polly Pocket,
Club Penguin,
Fantage. Do you remember Fantage?
Yes, Fantage and Pixie Hollow.
Did you ever get on the Mycene Girls?
I think so.
The Mycene Girls website was so fun too. So fun. So fun. All right, my next one is by Saturated Scruffy. And it says, my brother went into my room and wrapped up a few articles of clothing from my dresser and a necklace from my closet. He did this 3 years in a row.
No.
The following year, I gave him a giant bag that I put a couple of his weights in with a single Tootsie Roll. He almost cried because he thought I got him some really huge expensive thing. You're like, dude, you're just getting a taste of your own medicine.
Karma.
Oh my gosh.
What goes around comes back around.
Like, you expect your sister to get you this super nice expensive thing when you've been regifting her the stuff from her own room.
Yeah.
Please. So funny.
I love it. Love the payback.
Me too.
All right. This one's by old_and_moist.
Oh.
Old and moist.
Perfect.
Well, this happened just last year. We had food set out on the table, and we were all sitting on chairs around it. Out of nowhere, my brother's chair snaps, and he tries to grab onto the table, but can only grab the cloth. And as he falls to the floor, he pulls the cloth with him a bit. The only thing that fell was a massive chocolate cake, but it splattered everywhere.
Dang it.
Everyone couldn't stop laughing for the night.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, like, I'm glad it wasn't the whole meal. But also, chocolate cake is my favorite.
I know. I would have been like, why couldn't the...
I would have gotten a chunk that wasn't touching the floor.
Yeah. Why couldn't the turkey have fallen?
Right? We talked a bit
about this.
Yeah, or like a pumpkin pie.
This reminds me of the story of our dad with the pantyhose on his head falling into grandma's Christmas tree.
Oh my gosh, that's right. Okay, you got to retell this from like the whole thing.
So I can't remember what the purpose of the game was, but you put the pantyhose on your head.
Okay. Do you want me to tell it?
Yeah, maybe you'll tell it better.
So one Christmas Eve, we always go to our mom's side of the family on Christmas Eve. She has a huge family. She has 5 siblings, and they all have like a bunch of kids, and some of them even have their own kids. Anyway, so our uncle Mike put together this whole game night, and we were playing in like individual family teams. And one of the games was there was 2 pairs of pantyhose tied together, and like then on the part that's tied together was tied like an orange. And then there was a line like taped across the floor, and then you put like the opening that you would put like around your butt, you put around your head. Mm-hmm. So like 2 people would put like the 2 openings around their head, and then it was like tug of war. You had to pull the orange over the tape to like your side, and then you would win. Like, so our dad and our grandpa were like each drawn to like compete in this, and so our dad puts like one side on, our grandpa puts the other side on. Our dad, and keep this in mind, the year before, our dad had had like a major accident while he was hunting, and like snapped his left leg in half, like literally.
He broke his tibia and his fibia. I think.
So like both the lower legs the bones in your shin completely snapped in half, and then his ankle. It was a
bad break.
Yeah, his ankle was also crushed. So like major surgery. He was off of his leg forever. So like his balance has never really been the exact same since that. So, and it was only a year later that this happened. So they're doing this tug of war, and
with
like
their heads, not using hands.
With their heads, yeah. And my dad pulls it, and then he loses his balance, and he's on the side that's closest to the Christmas tree, falls backwards into the Christmas tree.
This Christmas tree is a grand, beautifully decorated
like
Christmas
probably
tree.
10 feet tall. It's pretty tall.
It's pretty much like the star of the living
room. Oh my gosh, it was the funniest thing in the entire world.
It falls over, and you just see him get up, and his face is like bright red, and he still has the pantyhose
on his head. Like, it was the funniest thing in the entire world.
The funny thing was that he's like kind of like shy around like my mom's side of the family. Like, so the fact that it happened to him of all people was like the cherry on top.
It really was. And like our mom's side of the family, like it's a huge family where there's like
so many big personalities.
50 of us there. Like
there's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of big personalities. Everybody's loud. Like it's the best thing and the hardest thing.
Yeah, you can easily.
You can imagine like why. Yeah, it was so funny.
Oh my
though.
Gosh.
Hilarious. Okay. Is it me? Or is it you?
It's you.
Okay. This is my last one. All right. This is from a deleted user, and it says, my brother gave me a hand turkey that he drew minutes earlier for Christmas.
Wow.
This would have been okay if he was 5 or something. He was 21 years old.
No, he was not.
I framed it and gifted it back to him the next year.
Oh my gosh.
I just am imagining your 21-year-old brother going into the next room and drawing you a hand turkey.
He like gets out the crayons and like starts drawing. Why are brothers so funny?
Oh my gosh. It's like this is the stupidest thing ever. You're like, dude, why did you even try? Like,
gosh.
Oh, such a troll.
And I don't have any more. I thought I had more, but that's the end. I'm trying to think if I have any like embarrassing Christmas stories of my own other than the one we just told, but I don't think I do.
I think we've been saved. We have. I've been trying to remember to do this, and I've been really bad about it, but you know, it's okay. We're only on what episode is this? 10? Or
this is going to be 11.
This is going to be 11. Okay. But so I figured I can get back into it and it's okay. But the so true fact of the day.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't done that since like episode 2.
We were going to do that and then we didn't do it.
Yeah. So I do have a so true fact of the day.
Okay.
My fact is in 1906, Oh Holy Night became the second song to ever be broadcast on the radio.
Really? The second ever out of all the music?
Yes.
Huh.
Crazy, huh?
I wonder what the first one was.
Turned Down for What?
Turned Down for What?
By Little John.
Gangnam Style.
Gangnam Style. Who knows? Probably like, maybe like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Cotton Eye Joe? Couldn't tell you.
Cotton Eye Joe 1907.
Yeah. All right, guys. Bye.